Hello, Penny. I am so sad in a not creepy way, but it's kind of a creepy way, right? That we weren't able to meet, and I'm so looking forward to see you in Rotterdam. So this is me watching your interview, and yeah, enjoy your interview while I'm still watching.
12 años han pasado desde la victoria de Alexander Rybak en Eurovisión. Pulverizando todos los récords hasta la fecha, Noruega lograba su tercera victoria en el único festival celebrado en Rusia.
Norway!
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 What a surprise! Norway!
El violín de Rybak correría mejor suerte que los violines de la española Soraya Arnelas. La cantante extremeña sería salvada del último puesto por el jurado del país vencedor, que sufrió problemas con el televoto durante la gran final. Esto provocó que los fineses Waldos People no recibiesen ni un solo punto, condenándolos al final de la tabla.
A mí no me tumba ni Dios. A mí eso no me tumba.
Resulta curioso que La noche es para mí fuese salvada de la quema en 2009 por un jurado, más aún cuando España tuvo que recurrir a la votación de los expertos en la segunda semifinal, gala en la que precisamente actuó Alexander Rybak. El motivo, un partido de tenis en el que jugaba Fernando Verdasco y que retrasó media hora la emisión del festival. De hecho, no estaba previsto que España emitiese sus votos el 14 de mayo de 2009. El sorteo había determinado que lo haría en la primera semifinal. Quizás así España habría salvado a la República Checa de su primer cero histórico. El resultado obtenido por Gypsy Chesed sería el capítulo final del primer trienio de la República Checa, una etapa marcada por la indiferencia del público europeo por las propuestas del país centroeuropeo, que solo logró cosechar 10 puntos en 3 participaciones. Kabat quedarían últimos en la semifinal de Helsinki, conquistando su único punto en Estonia. Teresa Kernlova aportaría los 9 puntos restantes, suficientes para esquivar el farolillo rojo en la segunda semifinal de 2008. En el Olimpiski de Moscú, la turca Hadise abrió la veda de los clasificados en la primera semifinal. Tras ella vino la sueca Malena Erdmann, madre de Greta Thunberg. Después vendrían Israel, Portugal, Malta, Finlandia, Bosnia y Herzegovina, Rumanía y Armenia. Para la islandesa Johanna, la espera valdría la pena. A pesar de salir en el 10º y último sobre, Easy Chu ganaría la noche y acabaría en la segunda posición de la gran final. Sin embargo, el 12 de mayo de 2009 se hizo el silencio en Praga.
Píseň od Stinga a jmenuje se Hands of the Winter. Mercury falling, I rise from my bed, I collect my thoughts together.
Pocos meses después de la derrota checa en tierras rusas, Ben da Silva Cristóbao se presentaba a los castings de Superstar. El joven checo acabaría séptimo en una competición en la que coincidiría con Max Jason May, el último representante de la historia de Eslovaquia, y Marta Jandová, el 50% del dúo que trajo de vuelta a República Checa. La candidatura de 2015 supuso la primera piedra en el camino. Aunque no logró clasificar, Hope Never Dies triplicaría la puntuación cosechada por el país en 3 ediciones. Lo importante, sin embargo, llegaría un año después. Capitaneados por un Jan Bors que se estrenaba como jefe de delegación, los checos llegaban a Estocolmo con aspiraciones de pasar a la gran final por primera vez en su historia.
Czech Republic!
Congratulations!
El 10º puesto en la semifinal supo a gloria, convirtiendo a Gabriela Gunčíková en la primera artista checa que representaba al país en la noche del sábado. Mientras tanto, Ben Cristobao conquistaba el país con el tema Asío, que se convertía en la canción más reproducida de 2016, un premio que no recogió, ya que se negaba a compartir presencia con la banda Hortel, conocida por sus letras xenófobas. La clasificación de Gabriela Gunčíková resultaría agridulce. A pesar de poder actuar en la gran final, el 0 recibido por el televoto lastró sus opciones, dejándola en penúltima posición, tan solo por delante de Alemania. Al año siguiente, Martina Barta también sufrió la indiferencia del televoto, recibiendo tan solo 2 puntos, y aunque el jurado le otorgó 81, la suma final resultó insuficiente para alcanzar la gran final. No sería hasta 2018 que República Checa pegaría el primer gran puñetazo sobre la mesa, curiosamente con el artista al que le propusieron cantar en Kiev. Lie to Me conquistaría el billete checo durante la preselección online, la primera del país en esta segunda etapa, y Mikolas Joseph pondría rumbo a Lisboa. Un orden de actuación cuestionado por muchos y una lesión sufrida durante los ensayos no frenaron al artista, que escalaría hasta la 6ª posición de la clasificación con 281 puntos, 215 provenientes del televoto. Los checos volverían a tropezar con el televoto en 2019, lastrándoles en la gran final de Tel Aviv. Aún así, los ojos de la delegación enfocaron rápidamente a 2020. Y entonces, Benny Cristo llegó.
We've been trying to have him in Euromovidas since last year that we had the first contact with his team, but now, finally, it's happening. Benny Cristo, how are you? Welcome to Euromovidas.
I'm sorry for being stupid when it comes to like connecting and stuff. I'm the worst. I'm the worst. I know it.
Why did you say that to yourself?
No, because like I wake up and I'm already late for things. You know what I mean? I just know it. I go through my life and constantly I'm disappointing somebody because I'm not making time wise. I'm not making the goals that I want. It's just me.
Mientras República Checa comenzaba a encontrar su lugar en Eurovisión, Benny se consolidaba como una de las mayores estrellas del país, acumulando a día de hoy casi 800.000 seguidores en Instagram, siendo el segundo artista eurovisivo más seguido del año, tan solo por detrás de los italianos Måneskin. Siendo así, ¿cómo acaba en Eurovisión?
I never really cared about how much people are following me. I never see that as a mark of anything when it comes to like if you have some cool concept or some cool event that you want to participate and you see I've seen that like most of the people that are, I don't see it as a reason not to participate in an event that for me has the potential and looks interesting and looks like a nice opportunity to show off what I can do and what I've learned in the 10 years that I'm making music.
Resulta interesante cómo Ben Cristobao se presenta ante Europa con canciones en inglés. Curioso porque la mayoría de su discografía está cantada en checo.
I love Czech language; it's beautiful. But if you're not Czech, you're not gonna get it, and it's not so phonetically perfect, such as other languages, as Spanish, as French, as English. It just isn't. And if you as a songwriter think otherwise, I think that's not a smart deduction, because we have a lot of let me just show it to you. Když mluvíme česky, tak to zní asi něco jako takovýhle. Je to prostě strašný, ten jazyk je strašně uprdlej, strašně moc krk, frt, brd. Všechno, co řekne, zní úplně strašně, nedá se to parádně používat. It just doesn't sound as good, you know. It phonetically it doesn't. it's not really singing language. You can sing it and singing it quite well, but only for your own people. If you try to do this on somebody else, they're just gonna do what you guys did, which is.
Can you please explain what the hell did you say in that?
I was saying what I was saying in English. I was saying that if you try to use this language for singing to other audiences, it's just not gonna work, because people are gonna look at you like, what the hell are you doing?
En 2020, Benny se convierte en el representante del país para Eurovisión. En una preselección nacional tremendamente reñida, el televoto del país llevó al artista a Rotterdam. Sin embargo, algo resultaba forzado.
What do you have in store to continue bringing joy to our festival next month?
Well, okay. What do I have in store? Well, I'm working on trying to be myself as much as possible, and then we obviously have a great team working on choreos, working on staging and stuff. But my biggest weapon, if you want to talk about like what do I have in store and stuff, is probably just the fact that I just want to enjoy it. You know, I just want to have fun in there. Just want to come there, have a good time, do my best, and see what's gonna happen. Before, like 1 year ago, I was more strict about it. I was more like, oh, I have to say this, I have to be like this, I can't fuck up anything, I have to be like, you know, da. And then when it comes to the song, the K-Mama song was, you know, the way I wrote it was just like, I'm gonna tell them everything about me, I'm gonna let them know, you know, what I've been through. It was just, I was very emotional and stuff. But I already said all of that, and since the second year has to be different, I was just like, you know what, let's just have fun. So that's my approach, and I don't really have any like big tactics or anything. I just want to have fun, and I think if people will see it and understand that it's genuine, and then I genuinely just want to give out good vibes, they will either like it or not, and you know, either way, I'm gonna be okay.
Y entonces llegó el primer revamp. Y el segundo.
We had like three different versions of K-Mama. Also,
Yeah.
We also heard two of them, one with a piano, another one acoustic for the pre-parties that we have because of the pandemic. Do you know that the people almost expected that you wanted to have in Eurovision 2021 the K-Mama version 4.0, 5.0, 6.0?
Yeah, well, this what you're saying right now is actually perfectly aligned with what I was saying about like me being not confident about myself, not confident about my act, because I didn't even know this community. I didn't know that, like, you know, Eurovision is all of that. That Eurovision is like a lot of people who are genuinely interested in music. I have no idea. You know, I saw it as a spectator. I saw what the people are doing, you know, on stage, but I didn't see all of that behind, right? So then when you're confronted with people who have opinions, and then they have opinions which are even like suggestions that are like, if you like, I don't even read comments normally when I release something, because I just learned how to, you know, trust in my own art somehow. But then if you're entering a different market and you're curious, you're like, okay, but what are these people saying? And then you release a song, you know, K-Mama, and then people are like, oh, it should be a revamp. Yeah, I think a revamp is a good idea. And then like all those people, what they do, and this applies to everybody, or all kinds of you know, like comment sections everywhere, is people tend to do the monkey see monkey do. They tend to like copy the opinions, right? So, but I didn't even know that, you know, like at that time I was just like, okay, this is weird. Like, why is there so many people saying like, yo, you should revamp it? And then like people just enter the chat and they're just like, yeah, totally. I don't know what he's saying, but totally, you should revamp it. So if you don't know all of that, then you just like, you know, watch some kind of a feedback because you're interested in feedback, and then trillion people tell you, yeah, it's a good song, but it needs a revamp. You're like, okay, first of all, what is the revamp? And then how do I do it? Like, those were my main questions. Genuinely, I was just like, okay, what the fuck is revamp? And how do I do it? Because I don't want to fuck it up. I don't want to disappoint my country. I want to be, I want to make them proud, blah, 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 blah. So there you go. Ben's flying to Nairobi to revamp the song. We revamp it. It's in my opinion, it's awesome. We add like the African guitars in there. We find the best African guitarist ever. We make all of that happen. We bounce it up because it's super stressful already. Oh my God, there's no light. I'm in the car. Sorry. So yeah, we do all of that, and then we send the wrong version to the Eurovision webpage. So then you have Eurovision sending uploading a revamped version, which is wrong. And the guitars are too loud. This is too slow. Like something is just super wrong with it. And I'm like, people are again like, yo, this is even worse. What happened in there? I'm like, what the fuck? What happened? I don't know. And then I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh my God, that's the unmixed version. Like, how the fuck did it get in there? And it's just like, oh my God, I'm sorry. You didn't check. I didn't check. All of this bullshit happens. And then I'm like, oh my God, guys, I'm sorry, but we have to. Can you please delete it? Can we please upload the correct version of the revamp? And they're like, you want us to delete this revamp that you did, which you were, hyping, and you want to change it for another revamp that sounds almost the same? And I'm like, yeah, that's they're like, okay, well, you're gonna get it. And I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter. I just need it to sound at least half decent. And they're like, okay, your choice. And then they upload the new version, and that's the story of a revamp king right there.
So it was the revamp of the revamp, and then we had the revamp of the revamp that happened to be the real revamp. So it's really, really confusing. I had to say that to you.
It's just awesome. But it all comes down, by the way, to self-confidence. Like if I was the person that I was last year, which thank God I'm not, and I'm happy that we all evolve, I would be just like, yo, I get it that you like a revamp, but I'm cool with this version. Like, this is how the song was intended. I'm cool with it, and revamp your ass. I don't care.
La cancelación del festival trajo de vuelta a algunos representantes de 2020, confirmados también para la edición de 2021, entre ellos Benny. El 16 de febrero se estrenaba Oh My God, la canción de República Checa para la reedición del festival en Países Bajos, un tema que, sin embargo, no estaba destinado al festival.
Following with that, because we talk a lot about Que Mama, I want to know how was the process about writing and composing Oh My God, because I read that you were the composer on the Lady6. Mm-hmm. So, and it seems that you are more confident with Oh My God, it sounds more rounded for you.
Well, the process was, as I said, it came out of fun strictly. So it was just producer Filip Vlček came to my house. It was actually our first session as a working group. I'm not the composer of the song. I wrote the lyrics and I wrote the cadence for the melody, like so the vocal cadence. He wrote all of the instruments. So here we are. Like I remember still being in the kitchen. I'm like, yo, I had this idea. And he's just like, okay, give me a second. And he had a looper and the guitar and all of that. And he just started coming out with a beat. And I'm like, yo, this sounds pretty good. And we were smoking a lot. I remember we were having fun. And then this song slowly started to grow. And in the midst of that, the Eurovision was already asking us, because like for this year I had to submit 3 different songs, and then the jury, like national jury, would choose the song out of it. So it was not only Oh My God, like for national round, because I was already selected. They said like, okay, so since you are selected, can you at least give us more songs so that the people can choose which song is going to be representing us. So Oh My God was actually a song that was pretty random, and it wasn't even like it was just like me talking about my quarantine kind of a situation and vibe. It was just like, yo, honestly, I don't care, just happy your hair, just come by, it's have fun. So this was the song. It was just like just 2 guys like just chilling, vibing, and just like jamming to like new beat. And then when we were supposed to submit the songs to Eurovision, like the 3 songs, I was just like, yo, why don't we use Oh My God as well? He was just like, yeah, no, but like it's not, this is not the kind of Eurovision sound. And I'm like, yo, just make it, I don't know, just do something with it. And he's just like, I don't know, this is what it's gonna be. I'm like, okay, let's try. And we submitted it the way that it was, and like people from our team, they loved it and they picked it, and that's the situation. So I had a song that I thought is gonna be more like Eurovision, like kind of friendly, but this one was picked, and I'm just and that's different me. I'm just like, I'm happy with it. I'm like, okay, whatever you guys think, you know it better. You know, like at least I know like I'm not revamping anything. I'm happy with the way that it is. I'm just gonna go have fun. Don't even bother me with anything. Don't even bother me with, you know, like all the stuff that I should do different. I don't care.
En el videoclip de Oh My God se suceden referencias cinematográficas como Los Simpsons o Forrest Gump.
I tried to catch all the references, but I can't. But later I want to ask you personally. I want to ask you about the idea. How was the recording, and when you noticed that it's time to make a video clip with a lot of movies?
So the director Jan Strach came up with a first idea, which he introduced to us, and this is actually a tricky thing, because the way that I'm gonna say it is it's gonna be slightly not fair to the other guy who submitted actually something cooler, but I really liked the other work that this director was doing, right? So Jan Strach, he submitted something that basically there would be two kind of gangs, and then they would like confront each other, and then they would do a dance battle between each other. And I'm like, nah, I don't like that. I'm not feeling it. You can do better, bro. Please, you can do better. Because it was literally, we were choosing between two directors, and the other one, he submitted something good, and the team was liking it. And I'm like, bro, and I wrote him a message. I'm like, yo, bro, really, this is what you come up with? Like, let's go. Like, give it a whole night and come up with something good. And so he was just like, so, yo, bro, and he wrote me still at night. He was just like, I have this idea. We're just gonna do a lot of different movies. And I'm like, how are we gonna make it on time? He's just like, oh, don't worry about it. And then he was just like, okay, so which movies do you love? And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? He's just like, yeah. And so kind of together we put out like, I think 12 different movies, and then we just like then he submitted it to the to my management, who was picking the right video maker, and that's how it started. So the idea came out of him, but then like the movies we picked together, and yeah.
What happened with the laser beam at the cafeteria when you shoot like a laser? What is that?
No, it's because we couldn't use a regular gun, because the gun would then have the video blocked in some countries, so we didn't want that. So we had to use like a toy gun, which turned out to be like a green toy, because that was by the way, all the shops were closed. We were looking for a toy gun, you know, that would resemble like a real toy, but it just wasn't possible. So my manager's little kid, like 80-year-old guy, he had like this, you know, stříkací pistole, sorry, I'm saying in Czech, like a water gun, and it was a replica of Pulp Fiction's scene where they are robbing that place, the cafeteria.
Okay.
So it's right before he's like, any of you fucking bitch move, I'm gonna execute every motherfucking last one of you. That's how it started. But yeah, that was it. It was Pulp Fiction. It was the moment where the I love you, honey buddy, where they say each other that they love each other, and then they just, you know, make a robbery.
So right now I have been seen by the whole Spanish panel like as somebody that hasn't seen Pulp Fiction in his life.
Oh,
I had to say that. No,
got this part out.
Queda menos de un mes para Eurovisión 2021 y ya sabéis que nos gusta centrarnos en lo importante. ¿Qué va a hacer Benny en el hotel?
Is there any drink choice that you are going to have in the hotel room the 2 weeks that you have to be isolated? Because James is a fan of whiskey. Rafał is a fan of a Polish drink that I cannot remember. Maybe Álvaro can help.
Cidronówka.
Yeah.
It's like kind of Polish limoncello, but stronger. And
whatever the name it is. Do you have something that you will be doing in the hotel room waiting to go to the stadium in those two weeks?
Well, I did open a pub with my friends here in Czech Republic, so I'm definitely going to be drinking a lot of beer. I'm going to be trying different kinds of beer. which they have, hopefully. And so that's first choice. But a beer is more like everyday thing. I can drink it all day and still be cool. And then at night, probably gin tonic. And if it's slightly better gin, then probably better. But then again, if it's cold, then I don't care that much. You know, I'm quite simple in this. Like, I can be posh and be like, oh, I only drink that, blah, blah, blah. But then again, when it comes down to, like, if you really want to drink and if you're really alone in the hotel, you drink anything. You drink anything. Like, really? Are you? If I'm alone in the hotel, am I going to be like, oh, I only drink this specific liquor? And then that get off. No, I'm drinking anything. I'm trying to, like, pass the time. Just give me anything. A fucking party. I don't care.
No sabemos qué sucederá con Benny Cristo. Lo que sí sabemos es que con casi total probabilidad la historia de 2009 no se repetirá. Por lo pronto, porque España podrá votar, siempre que no se interponga el tenis, claro.
So thank you so much for being in Euromovidas. It's
Thank
been
you
a pleasure.
so much for having me, guys. Sorry for keeping you wait. And yeah, looking forward for you to see what's happening in there.
So we will be having an eye of the Czech Republic participation. Thank you so much, Benny.
Thank you.